In this video, I'm going to break down every single fear you have over trading and how you can actually overcome that fear and not let it hold you back anymore. So the biggest fear that we all have is, what if trading doesn't work anymore? That could be prop firms collapsing so you don't get capital. That could be your strategy not working. That could be that the market gets too random or difficult. And all of these fears are completely normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, if you look at the trading industry and the rate is growing at, then you will realize that especially the last 3 years, we've seen a 39% growth in the number of active traders in the market. And it was especially these last 3 years that this big growth has happened, because pre-COVID, the growth wasn't that big. So the trading industry is growing faster and getting bigger and more global than ever. So if you think about it logically, the fear of prop firms going under, the fear of all this, it's completely nonsense. And the truth is, actually, I think the opposite is going to happen. We're going to see more and more opportunities, more prop firms, and better conditions for traders, because they are having competition with each other. And it's the same truth as well, that you think that if too many people get profitable or whatever, these prop firms are going to go under. But for every single person getting profitable, there are so many new people coming into the market, and they're not currently profitable, and most of them will never become profitable. So there will always be money in circulation in these markets, and you have nothing to worry about. As for your strategy, that's something you have to go over with yourself, because I have had a lot of strategies. Sorry, I can't speak. So I have had a lot of strategies that stopped working, and I got panic every single time, and I was like, why is this currently not working? I went into this loop of having a strategy that worked, giving me payouts, and then it stopped working. But the truth is, it wasn't a real strategy. It was just a pattern that my brain recognized and that I gave meaning to, that actually didn't have, like, it had an edge for a while, but there wasn't any logical or explainable reason why this strategy actually worked and why the market moved in my direction after using the strategy, the setup. Simply because I did not understand what made the market move, and I was just kind of profitable, but I didn't realize that your strategy means nothing if you can't explain why the market moved. So that's actually something I had to take responsibility for myself, and I actually had to learn how the market moves. So all of these fears is actually, the biggest fear you should have is of yourself, not of the market, because the market will always be there. Capital will always be there. As long as there is a demand, there will always be a supply. So what you have to be doing is, you have to ask yourself, will my capital still be there tomorrow if I trade like a maniac? And will I be able to trade profitably? Because the market will always give you opportunities and will always be there, but you have to go within. And the risk you're not considering is that any job you have could also be gone tomorrow, or you could get fired. But people don't think that way. They don't think that that's a possibility. But we've seen throughout history, in any financial crisis, anything that happened, that this is happening all the time. Yet in trading, people have this fear of, what if prop firms go under? What if my strategy doesn't work anymore? What if the market gets too random, or it's not able to be traded anymore? But the truth is, that's not going to happen at all. And if it's happening, then you should have the same fear about anything else in your life. Your health could be gone tomorrow. Any geopolitical event could happen tomorrow that's affecting your life in a big way. Any job could be gone tomorrow. So if you're going to think this way, you have to think this way in all other areas of your life. And then you start to realize how paranoid you start to seem, and realize that this is just a waste of energy. If that's happening, then there's nothing you can really do about it. but why should you think about that when it hasn't happened yet? So what you have to realize is that in trading, a lot of people switch their strategy all the time, but the most profitable traders, they have the same strategy over and over. That means they have the fundamentals, they have the foundation, and they never change the foundation. The only thing they're doing is they're optimizing their strategy, they're tweaking it a bit just to get in sync, in flow with the markets, but that's all. They realize that if they have to change the strategy all the time, then the strategy wasn't that good to begin with. If the strategy doesn't survive in the test of time, then it wasn't a good strategy to begin with. So in trading, you've probably been trading for several years, or you have the ambition to do so in order to get profitable, because that's what it takes. And a lot of people think that they can just switch strategies or switch from trading to drop shipping to e-commerce to whatever, I don't care. But the truth is, you have to stick at one thing for several years and really take it seriously before you see the growth. Because in the beginning, you don't see any growth. You see failure over and over again. But in order to break through and get to that level, you have to be consistent at it for so long that it's impossible for you to fail. You could do everything in your sleep. And that's how you want to be feeling in the market. You just go in and you just see quickly, okay, no trade here. Like, this market is consolidating or is going to consolidate, and you see it in advance. You see that the market conditions are bad this session, this day, and you just realize there is no point. Or you see that the trade setup isn't that good, and you just quit taking that setup. And when it's time to go, you realize, like, because you've done the same strategy over and over every single time, you just realize that this is what I have to do. It's muscle memory, it's on repeat, it's actually boring. You don't get that many emotions about it. If you get stopped out, you have good risk management, you move on. If you win, you just let it go, hit full TP and close the trade. That's it. And it's not more complicated than that. And a lot of these successful people, they aren't any smarter than you. They've just been at it for so long, done the same thing over and over again until it became routine, until it became boring, and until like think about just back testing versus live trading. You're probably performing way better in back testing than in live trading, and it's just because you're not used to doing it live, to make decisions under pressure and the waiting and all of that stuff. But that's something you can condition yourself to be comfortable doing. You can condition your brain into thinking this is normal, this is not a big deal, I've done this a million times, and there's just execute. And when it hits your stop loss, sometimes I get really nervous or anxious before taking a trade that has I can use sometimes a 1.7 pip stop loss in Euro USD, and obviously when you're trading with a large lot size, then that could be really uncomfortable to do. But sometimes I just do that, and I'm like, if we get stopped out, it doesn't mean anything. It's not even my own capital, it's prop firm capital. Like, if I get stopped out, I just want to get stopped out quickly and move on with my day and just put the charts away. Because if I then get stopped out, then I know that I'm done. That's the truth. And when it works, I can hit 4R, 6R, 10R, 12R, and I know the math. I know if I lose here, then I'm just going to make that back in a better trade next day, next session, next week. So that's it. If you're interested in backtesting with the best software there is out there, use the code which is linked in the bio, in the description, Hoyer15, and there's a link as well where you can get 15% off of a FX replay. And if you're interested in being mentored by me, you can contact me on Instagram, or you can click the link in the bio to join the Discord community and actually be part of a bigger community where we hype each other up, and we only focus on high quality setups. And the reason why I have this Discord and I just don't let anyone in, because in trading, who you surround yourself with is key. If you are around really ambitious, driven people, is like you can speed up your profitability in like 10x, 20x, because like if people are really serious together, then you don't get that fear that we talked about in the beginning of what if trading doesn't work out, what if, like, because everyone is like, let's go, let's make this happen. And if someone says something like that, we're just going to call them out and say like, bro, look here, this is going to work out. We're making this work out. Like, we're creating our own prop firm if prop firm's going under. Like, we're making this shit happen. Like, we can't have this weak attitude like, oh, what if this happened? Like, we're making this stuff happen. Like, I don't care about what happens in drop shipping. I don't care about what happens in other areas, like other business. I couldn't care less. In trading, we're building a strong community, and this shit is going to grow. And the next 3 years, we're going to see even bigger growth in the trading industry, more opportunities than ever before, more people getting filthy rich in this business, and we're not stopping now. Let's go.